What's up, everybody? Mike with Sports Templates here, and I'm back today to show you this amazing new animated jersey template, basketball jersey template for After Effects. So this is the newest thing from Sports Templates. It's an After Effects template so you can animate your jersey design. The great news is, even if you don't know how to use After Effects, we're going to show you how to do that today. And it's easy enough that if you've never used it before, you're going to be able to do this. And there is a Photoshop interaction as well. So if you know how to use Photoshop, great. If you don't, we're going to teach you that too, in order to allow you to customize your jersey design here, get an animated render out of it, or you can render out still images if you want. So let's get into it. But before we do, just go ahead and scroll down below. Do me a little favor, hit the like and subscribe buttons. We really appreciate that. You'll also find a link in the description to the asset library that was used for this. So this stuff over here, you'll be able to follow along, drop this stuff onto the template if you want to just learn and replicate what we're doing here today, and will really help you. So, and then let me just tell you what you get with this package. So there are two separate After Effects files. One is a little bit larger than the other if you want a higher resolution. We're working with the lower resolution one today just because things will move a little more quickly for us. You're also going to get a Photoshop PSD file, which is linked to the After Effects file. So we're going to show you how to use this Photoshop template to design your jersey. And then when you save it, it's going to act like a big smart object, and it's going to update the After Effects file. So you'll see whatever changes you made here. And there's some other things we'll learn how to do here in After Effects as well. So in order to make this all work, there is a plugin that you need. You get everything you need with your download with this purchase, other than the plugin, which is free. You just have to get it somewhere else. We're going to show you how to do that. So recap, you get the two After Effects files, you get the PSD. It includes 3 different collars. So let me zoom in a little bit here. You've got the traditional sort of round neck. You've also got a V-neck collar that you could turn on. You can see down here it's kind of rendering, so it'll just take a second to render and show you what that looks like. And then you've also got the wishbone collar. So the 3 main collars used on basketball jerseys are available to you here in this template. And of course, you can see when we're zoomed in, wow, amazing texture. We'll go over that stuff later. So you get the 2 After Effects files, you get the PSD, you're going to get access to this asset library. You're also, in your download, there's going to be a folder called Assets. Let me just show you all this stuff here. So you're going to get the After Effects files. You're going to get the Assets folder. This contains a bunch of stuff that makes all this work, but you don't need to do anything with it. What's important is when you download all this stuff, you just keep it all in the same location. Okay, I've got a folder for it called Animated Basketball Jersey. They all just have to be in the same location because they're connected, right? So in order to work together. But you're going to get the Add Your Design Here Photoshop file, and that's what we're looking at here. That's where we're going to add our design. We're going to save it. It's going to update the After Effects file. In order to make it all work, though, you do need a plugin. We'll have a link to it in the description, and it's called ft-UVPass 64. So you'll download this plugin, and it'll go to your downloads folder or wherever you decide to save it. And all you need to do is navigate to your plugins folder under After Effects. So if you just go to like your C, it's probably your C drive, you'll go to Program Files, you'll go to Adobe, you'll go to Adobe After Effects 2023 or whatever version you're using. Then you'll go to Support Files, and then finally you'll go to Plugins, and you'll just drop it in there. And then you probably need to close After Effects and restart it just to make sure it takes effect, but that's how you do it on a PC. I'm going to toss it over to Ali, and he's going to show you how to do it on a Mac.
Hey, Ali here, taking over from Mike to show you how to do this on the Mac. And to do it on the Mac, you're going to get, after you download ft-UVPass plugin, you can just double click on it. It's going to extract. Once you open that file, that folder, there's 2 options. There's one for Windows and one for Mac. You go into the Mac one, and then you copy this ft-UVPass 64 plugin, and then you can go to Applications. So inside of Applications, you just need to search for After Effects. You can double click on it, And inside of After Effects, you can just go into the plugins folder, double click on it. You just click Command V to paste that plugin. It's going to ask for your password. Okay. And it's going to place it in here. Now, if you have a MacBook that's running an M1 or M2 Apple Silicon, you just need, before you start After Effects, you need to right click on it and get info. And in here, you need to make sure that you have open using Rosetta. So this is needed for the plugin to work because it's not optimized for M1 silicone. So the trade-off is this will make your render times slower, but the file, the 3D graphics wrapping will work inside of After Effects. So once we make sure that using Open Rosetta is activated, we can go back to our folder. And now if you open it up, you're going to get this message that's saying you open it up in Rosetta, but you can see that all the textures are loaded up and it's ready to go. Now, one more thing is, if you're using Mac Sonoma, which is the latest update, you need to go to Applications and then go all the way down to Utilities and Open Terminal. And this is to install Open with Rosetta, which it doesn't come with this update of Mac. So you just need to double click on Terminal, and then I'm just going to do Control V here, but it's software update install Rosetta. And this code is going to be in the description below. So all you need to do is click enter and just kind of go with the questions. And you can see, just ask one question here, you answer with an A, and it's finished. So now when you go back to Applications, let's go back to Adobe, let's go to After Effects 2023, and if I click Get Info, now you can see that Open using Rosetta option is back. Now this works with After Effects 2023, so I'm not sure they added that support for 2024, but up until I recorded this video, it works well with After Effects 2023. Now back to Mike to continue with this tutorial.
Okay, thanks, Ollie. That was great. And so let's get started with this thing. So we've made a really cool Los Angeles basketball design that I'm going to show you how to do. And I'm going to show you how to do it with this Photoshop template. I've already got it all set up to make things move faster for us, but I just kind of want to show you how to manipulate this a little bit. So when you open this file, it's going to look like this. And this is all sort of placeholder stuff just to help you out. And the corresponding After Effects file is going to look the same, right? It's going to have just kind of the blue and the grid and all that stuff kind of showing there. And I'm using my scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And then if you hold the mouse button, or I'm sorry, if you hold the space bar, your cursor will turn into a hand so you can kind of click and drag things around. I've got this at 25% for my magnification. Again, you can zoom in or out with your scroll wheel, or you can come here to change your zoom. And then this is kind of your resolution. So if you want things to move a little bit faster, you can take this down so your preview resolution is a little bit lower, and that'll help things sort of render more quickly. But it will still, when you do your final renders out, they'll still be in high resolution. So in addition to all that, I guess before we start on the design, one more thing I want to show you. This does come in 3 sizes. So you've got your traditional square here that you would have for Instagram or whatever other social media you want to use. We've got it also in an HD layout, 1920 by 1080. There's the HD, and then we've got a vertical 1080 by 1920 for stories and phone size and stuff like that if you want to make a phone background or whatever. So all of those are included and they're all connected. So when you update one, let me just change these to half, it updates the other, right? And you'll see that as we move through this. So if you've never used After Effects before, once you open it up, there's a couple things to make sure you have. You want to make sure you have your Essential Graphics. So just go to Window, Essential Graphics, make sure that's turned on and set up and ready to go. And then if you don't already have it installed, make sure you have Adobe Media Encoder, because that's what's going to be used to render this stuff out when we're ultimately done rendering. Okay? Let's get to it. Let's get into recreating the jersey design. So if you want to, right, and I'll go back to the square size, a lot of this can be done directly in After Effects, and that's part of what we're going to show you. So I just like to start at the bottom. Let's start with the background, right? Let's change our background color. So if we scroll down, we see main background color. And if you pick this little eyedropper, you can come over here to your libraries and you can pick a color. Let's start with this yellow. Okay, that's pretty cool. And this has some lighting effects on it, right? So there's a nice gradient, a little bit of texture in there, right? So that's great. And then let's say we want to change our text. Right now, we call this the hero text, the big text in the back. It says basketball jersey. Maybe we want to change that and say something else, right? Let's change it to Legends. That's the name of this team we're going to be doing here. Bam. Automatically updates. And if you go to the other ones, it's already updated the color. It's already updated the text. And you could resize and however you like with that, right? For example, if you just scroll this, the text will get smaller, right? Whatever size you want. I think we had it at 750. You can click and type it in, hit enter. And you can change the text color if you want to. So if you want to make it purple, right? I don't like that. We'll just change it back to sort of a white color. Okay. So that's how we set up our background. And then if you want to, you can change stuff with the jersey in here, right? So you can go into jersey parts and you can change all the colors. So if you want to make the whole jersey purple, you can do that. But you're not going to see it right now. And the reason for that is in Photoshop, we still have this turned on. Okay, if I turn this off and I just make all the areas of the jersey transparent and I click save, basically that's going to take a second and it's going to push back over here. You can see it's kind of working and rendering now. And sometimes you need to just kind of click something in After Effects to wake it up. It's going to eventually refresh and you'll see the purple jersey underneath because basically what we've done is remove the design. Another way to quickly and easily do that, you can actually just turn design visibility off. And now we can see underneath. So we still don't see purple because there's things sort of on top of other things, right? So the overall color we said was purple, but there's things on top of it. So the torso color, right? If we want to make that purple, we can do that here. The side parts, if we want to make those, let's say yellow. After Effects is being really fun right now. Make those our gold color. Let's say we wanted to make the stripe on the inside of the neck a certain color, and I'll do gold for that. See that there? Just zoom in and see it a little bit. Okay. And then you can change the kind of the sleeves or the cuff colors if you want to, collar color. All that can be done right in here. But we're going to be adding stuff from Photoshop in order to get logos and things on here. And so I'm going to go back to our Photoshop template. We don't need the grid because we're going to put stuff over the top of it, but I'm just going to turn that back on. So basically everything that's inside where the blue is, it will show up visible in After Effects. The gray stuff, right, that's just empty space. So if you put stuff there, you're not going to see it in After Effects. And what you can do is you can come in here and you can go through these folders. These are all organized by color. And you can start to change things that you might want to change. So for the sides, I've already actually set those to yellow just to make this faster. So the side shapes, I've already got them the color I want to. If you want to change the color, you just click on one and you choose your color. And there you go. It's going slow because After Effects is running in the background. But I'm going to change that back to gold. And these are pre-built with some stripes. So if you want to do some stripe patterns, you can do that. These are all color fill shapes. So you can just click a color in your library to change the color, or double click here and change whatever colors you want to change. So we'll put the sides yellow. On the back, I added a stripe pattern. So I've got the two colors of purple here in the library. You guys will get those. So the base color is the lighter purple, and then the stripes are the darker purple. You'll be able to just drop these on. So if I go in here, right, and I turn this stuff off, I'm in the wrong folder. If I go into the back folder, right, the back shape I set to the light purple. This back stripes will not be part of the download you get because I just custom added this in here. You can do any kind of different stripe patterns you might want to do. But if you're following along, you'll be able to, these are labeled front and back stripes. You could just take the one that's labeled back stripes and just drag it out here. And then just kind of, position it wherever you want. Kind of want to align it center with that guideline that we have here, right? So if you're following along, you can drag and drop this stuff right in and make that work. So on the front, same thing. I did the base purple with the darker stripes. On the sleeves, if we zoom in, you can see two yellow stripes on the outside, or gold stripes, a white stripe in the middle. And that was built just with, again, there's shapes in here. So the overall color I set to white, and then the stripes on the outside I set to gold. And then same thing with the collar up here. And then the next stripe, I guess I set it to white here, so it'll show up white in After Effects when we move all this over. Now, lastly is the actual design. So again, you can drag and drop all of these elements in, right, if you want to place them anywhere. This one I dropped into the sleeves folder by mistake, so you're not going to see it, but you can drop it anywhere up at the top and you'll be able to see it, move it around, resize it however you want. I've already placed all this way. So I've got the logos, the word mark, the numbers, everything as I want it to be. And if you wanted to, you could even add like a little jock tag down here. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But now that I have everything where I want, I'm going to treat this like a smart object. I'm going to hold Control or Command if you're on a Mac and hit the S button, and you'll see it's saving, right? Saving down here. And that'll take just a second to save. And then if you go back over to After Effects and let's just do something, right, to sort of remind After Effects that it needs to refresh. And it may take a little time, right? Depending on your computer speed, your graphics processor, whatever you're running on your computer, it might just take a little time for it to refresh. It just depends, right, on sort of what you're doing. And it will refresh even faster. It may have already been done, but if you remember, I have design visibility turned off. So now I'm going to turn it on, and now you'll see here it comes, and there it is. There's our awesome design. And so if you want to see this animated, you can hit the space bar and it'll start to play. You can see here though, right, it's green, right? So this is kind of like a buffering, like it's only really loaded up to where the green is. So if you hit play, once it catches up, it's going to kind of lag. So if you want to let it just like buffer all the way through, you can. I'm going to hit play now and see if it catches up. So now you can see it starts to animate. And now that we've caught up to the green, right, there's some lag. If you hit space, it'll stop. And you can drag back and forth and you can see. So let's zoom in. So you can see all the frames here as we move through. So at the end of this, you'll be able to render this out as a full animation. Or if you wanted to, you could render single frames, right? So if you like a particular view, you could do that. But you can see how the fabric, it kind of, it moves really realistically, as if this thing is floating and it, you know, sort of gets hit with some twist motion, and you can see the fabric sort of twists in the way that something normally would, and then it kind of swings back, right? And you can see all the lighting changing as you move through it. So that's pretty cool. And you'll see that it's also already set up on this one, and it hasn't buffered out, so try to render it. It's not going to quite be ready yet if you try to watch it. But again, it'll get there pretty quickly depending on what you're running. And if we take the resolution down even more, things move a little bit faster. This one is still on half. If we go to like quarter. So you can see how easy it is to build a jersey, and it does a full 360-degree rotation. So the first and last frames are the same. What that means is you can loop it. You can, once you've rendered out your animation, you can then just duplicate it and put one after the other and just make as many continuous loops as you want to, right? Depending on how you're doing your editing. You could also just, you know, make a GIF that just loops. So there's lots of different ways to do it. So that's really it. That's how easy it is, right? That took just a couple minutes to prep everything and get it set to render out. So let me put this back to like full resolution. So just to show you guys some of the details on how this thing looks. So you can see, right, how nice and crisp that texture is. Super realistic, right? Just kind of showing you around. And then as you animate through, again, this is going to go a little slower because I've got it on full resolution, but you can kind of see just how the light changes and everything. Now, and then if you want to see like what does it look like with the other collar, just go in and turn the collar on. Now, what you'll find there is because this collar sits over the top, now all of a sudden your inside color doesn't match. So just come over here and just change it. Okay? And then same thing is true with wishbone, right? If you want to see wishbone, turn that one on, change your inside color, right? And you can make your inside color whatever you want, right? So sometimes the inside of the jersey is white. Make the inside whatever color you want. Okay? I think the Lakers wear a wishbone. Not my favorite though. If I'm being honest, not my favorite collar style. I'll just stick with this one for now. Okay, so that's it. That is all you need to do to be done. So let's talk about how to export this, okay? So what I found is the easiest way is just select these. So if you click one, let's click off of it. If you click one, it's going to select one, right? If you click one and then you hold Control, you can click additional or unclick. If you click one and you hold Shift and you go down to the last one you want to select everything in between, and you click, it's going to select them all. And so in this case, I have all three sizes selected. I'm going to go Composition, Add to Render Queue, and they are going to pop up down here. And then each one has its own settings and quality. And that's also where you can choose your format that you want to do. So in this case, I'll change it to H264. Hit OK. Do this for all of them. Hit OK. And then we need to tell it where to go. Okay. So I'm going to output to a downloads folder. I've got an animated basketball jersey folder there. And so I'm just going to save that. And then I'll do the same thing for these. So these are all going to go to the same folder. And then when I'm ready, they're all checked. I'm just going to hit render. And it's going to start to render. So depending on how powerful your machine is, right? Again, how much you have going on, your graphics processor, so on and so forth. It just may take some time. But you can see the render progress here, 150 frames. It's just telling you what frame it's on. Going to work through that. When it's done, they'll be available in your destination folder, and you can check them out there. So thanks so much, guys, for following along. We always really appreciate it. This is really fun to do, really rewarding to work on these things and then see you guys bring them to life and post them on social media. So head over to sportstemplates.net, pick up this package. Please hit those like and follow buttons. Please tag us when you post these on social media. We really want to see them, and if we really like them, they'll go in the Sports Templates Hall of Fame. So enjoy. Thank you. We'll see you next time.